This is an Ultra 4 tube chassis design where I define the strongest aspects of the chassis using the thickest tube that I could find for this application. So now I'm defining that top arc of the chassis, and this is really exciting because everything from here on out is just filling in the gaps and connecting the dots and making sure my force point loads are all connected to each other, and I can start adding some tube work. So I have three different types of tubes in here. The first is 2.5-inch diameter 4130 with quarter-inch wall thickness, which is about as big as it gets in the rock bouncer world. I don't think anyone goes bigger than that. It's pretty overkill for most applications, but I'm only using this in a few places, basically the bottom center tube for the chassis, and then everything that ties the bulkhead to each other. There's a few arcs on the chassis that use that 250 wall, 2.5-inch tube, but I wanted to keep this relatively light, so I didn't use it everywhere. So that's the first type of tube that I'm defining. And so what I'm doing is I have a chassis master sketch, which is that 3D sketch, and then I'm going to have three different types of structural weldment features in this part to define those three different tube types. And so this 250 wall goes from front to back in the bottom center, and then everywhere on the floor pan, and then a few places along the top arc of the vehicle. And so that's what I'm doing here. I'm starting to add the tubes in, and the chassis is starting to take shape after I got through that somewhat challenging aspect of the design, which was making the master 3D sketch. So what I end up doing is making the 250 wall tubes, and then going back to the sketch and modifying things where I need to, and then adding more tubes and then modifying the sketch again. And then that iterative process lets the part take shape in a way that you don't have to walk anything back too far if you make a mistake. It's all still editable, and you just build the aspects of the chassis piece by piece, starting with the most important structural components.